bringing people together to build a better county. Montgomery County, the place where we've welcomed new life into the world, said goodbye to those we love, fallen in love, raised our kids, pampered our grandkids, created wealth, built a life. To some, it may be just a place on the map, but this little patch of earth, not even 500 square miles, is that special place we call home. That is the Montgomery we, all of us, have built. For the past 12 years, every day has begun with Ike Leggett as our county executive, our leader. How do we describe him? Civil rights activist, soldier, teacher, father, grandfather, husband, Southerner, gentleman. At a time when politics seems a perpetual food fight, when issues get lost in personality and partisan bickering, Ike is a rarity. He listens, he learns, he can disagree with you without being disagreeable. Friends are friends forever. Enemies? Well, these are extremely rare. His door is always open, sometimes to a fault, say staff. He gives respect to each and every person. When Ike took office as the county's first African-American county executive in 2006, he laid down some very clear markers.
The real challenge for us in Montgomery County is how do we include more of us at the table without forcing aside those who are already rightfully here? The simple answer is to increase the size of the table.
For 5 years before Ike took office, efforts to establish a labor center for Latino day workers in the Gaithersburg area had gone nowhere. Quickly after Ike took office, just such a center was established on county land. And when a property dispute put Wheaton's popular Barry's Magic Shop in peril of closing, Ike brokered an agreement to keep the magic alive. Another challenge. County spending increased by over 40% in the 4 years before Ike took office. Then came the impact of the Great Recession. Ike put the county's fiscal house back in order. He made the tough decisions to slash county workforce spending while protecting critical county services, boosted reserves, and kept our AAA bond rating. Despite tough times, the county invested in buildings, equipment, and services in its capital budget that have laid the foundation for an even bigger and better Montgomery County. Over 21,000 classroom seats added in the past dozen years. More than $1 billion over 12 years for affordable housing, to leverage private dollars and create or preserve more than 77,000 affordable housing units. 5 new fire stations. That compares to only 1 in the 12 years before Leggett took office. 3 new police district stations. A new joint public safety headquarters for both police and fire and rescue. A state-of-the-art public safety training academy for our first responders to train in. A new animal services and adoption center to replace the previous dilapidated shelter. New campus facilities to water the garden of Montgomery College's endless possibilities. And a renewed focus on back to basics. A 1,330% increase in resources for residential road repaving and maintenance. 344 more county snowplows. 36 miles of new sidewalks, more than 3,000 bus stops improved, nearly a dozen new and refreshed libraries, and a new Silver Spring Transit Center that serves over 5 million residents a year. In all, even in tough times for county government and county residents, the Leggett administration has completed more than 50 major projects. With the County Executive's Smart Growth Initiative, the county avoided pouring millions of dollars into outmoded facilities that were located in areas where high-tech jobs could be created and thousands of units of housing close to Metro could be built. By swapping land for cash and relocating county facilities, Leggett created the conditions for creating more jobs and more housing, while building new facilities that could serve county residents well for decades. And that's not all. The county is also supporting job creation and development in White Oak, next to the Federal Food and Drug Administration, in White Flint along the Pike, and in Wheaton. By establishing MC 311 and County Stat, Ike pioneered changes that made the county more accessible and more accountable. Thanks to Ike, Montgomery County has reached out to sister cities in El Salvador and China, India and Korea and Ethiopia to promote culture, business, and education. The county's faith community under Ike's leadership has been mobilized and motivated to stand up for the Montgomery way. And no county executive has been as supportive of the arts, even in tough fiscal times, as Ike Leggett. The new Silver Spring Fillmore is only one example among many. Over the past 12 years, the amount of county residents' income that went to pay county taxes went down by 5%. Over the past 12 years, serious crime went down by 33%, and all crime went down by 29%, even while the population of the county was increasing. And county property taxes went up by less than 1% above inflation each year Ike Leggett has been our county executive. But Montgomery County is just the latest chapter in a remarkable life. After quarterbacking his high school team, Ike wanted to go to college. Problem: he didn't have any money.
My high school coach, who had always viewed me as a very, very intelligent person, said, listen, you should go to college. Well, I didn't have the grades at that point. I didn't have the scholarships. My parents were poor. He suggested that I go to Southern University, which is about 110 miles away in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and try to determine whether I could participate in a sort of a work-study program. And the idea of the program was to allow kids to work during the summer. You were not paid very much money, but what you would do, what they would do would be to place the monies into a fund designed for tuition for the fall. And so I boldly decided to go there, walked up to the business office and said I wanted to participate in this program. They said, well, where's your transcript? Where's your letter of authorization? All of the things you need. And I said, well, I don't have any. They said, no. I came back, that was at like 9:30 in the morning. I came back at about 10:30, they said no. 11:30, they said no right before lunch. Right after lunch at about 1:30, they said no, you can't participate, you're not authorized. Finally at about 4:30, the business manager said, listen, I am sick and tired of you coming back and forth to this office. We've told you no, you won't go away. So listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a job, but because you're not one of the kids who should be in the program, I can't allow you to work in that program. But we've just lost a person who is an outside maintenance person, and we need someone to fill his job. And so if you're willing to perform as a maintenance person, outside maintenance person, we can allow you to work in that program. I worked as a maintenance person for the university.
At Southern University, Ike was simultaneously the commander of the school's Army ROTC program and the leader of the civil rights movement on campus. He was focused on defending his country and fulfilling the promise of America that was, as yet, unrealized for African Americans. He met Dr. King twice, and he began to form his own special brand of leadership. That leadership was further honed and tested as an infantry captain in Vietnam. Most politicians who win medals can't wait to tell folks about it. Lots of luck getting Ike to talk about the war and the medals he won.
Very emotional. This is something that I wanted to do, and I thought that I needed to do it. So let's leave it at that, and I hope that people appreciate it.
Ike holds 4 higher education degrees, a Bachelor of Arts from Southern University, a Master of Arts degree, a Juris Doctorate degree from Howard University, and a Master of Laws from George Washington University.
I met Ike in law school. I was a first-year law student, and he was a third-year law student. He became the tutorer for our study group, and I was so enthralled by his brain. He was so smart, so knowledgeable, and so caring about us, this group of first-year students. He helped us get through, and in fact, I did make it through.
She has brought so much to the county, and when you look around, you think about the things that she's contributed to the county, they are enormous. And yet people have to keep in mind, all the things you see her participating in, week in, week out, day in, day out, she still maintains a full-time job downtown in Washington, D.C. So she's doing double duty constantly, and she does it well.
Appointed to the Montgomery County Human Rights Commission, he first tackled county issues. And when he and others sought to find a candidate to run for county council, everybody else pointed at him.
I didn't start off with the idea of running for office. We tried at that point in time to elicit other people to run for office, minority candidates. And I was out actively recruiting other people to run for that office, for county council. It was probably the most visible office in the county and one that we thought would have a great deal of impact in terms of the issues impacting Montgomery County. But what happened, most of the people that I talked to and many of the members of the organization would come back and say, well, you're the idea candidate, why don't you do it?
In 16 years on the council, he worked hard on boosting education, expanding transportation options, and protecting the environment. In 2006, he ran for the only office he ever really wanted, county executive. Despite being outspent 5-1, he won by a landslide, and he won re-election twice, both by big margins.
I would not say it was a proud moment, but it was a difficult and challenging moment. The fact that we were able to bring stability to a great financial crisis that adversely impacted the county. You shouldn't be proud of the fact that you have to sort of rescue the county from what was looking very closely to a financial disaster for us. It's not a proud moment, it's an achievement, but it's not the kind of achievement that you would want. You would want not to have to do that. Is it somewhat unfair to have to face the challenges of financial crisis that we face? People could look at it that way and say you selected the wrong time to be the county executive. But in many ways, I think it was the right time because I think my leadership style, my steadiness, my dedication, my commitment to try to do the things that were right, not necessarily popular, was the kind of leadership that we needed during these very, very tough challenges. And so, yes, it was a tough hand to be dealt, but it was a hand that someone needed to play. And I'm thankful that I was in a position to have played that very, very difficult hand. How do I see the future of Montgomery County? I'm a very optimistic person about the future of Montgomery County because I think we've made a large number of very good decisions in the county. When you go back again to financial stability and you think about the great assets that we have in Montgomery County, we're well over 1.1 million residents, one of the most educated communities in all of America. We have a strong tax base. We have people that literally have traveled the world. We have assets in terms of how we project ourselves literally around the world. When you look at this county, the businesses that are here, but more importantly, the people who are here. Whatever you think about the county in terms of our internal fights, struggles, they pale in comparison to the assets that we have. And I'm proud that the assets that we have not been fully utilized to the degree that they can. And I'm hopeful that future leaders will continue that evolution of providing the best in Montgomery County. So I'm very optimistic about it because of the people in Montgomery County.
You know, Ike is such a good man. That's why I'm so blessed to have him as a part of my life, and the county has been blessed to have him there for 12 years. He's strategic, he's honest, he's disciplined, and he is good. He will do the right thing for all of us. And I know the county is going to miss that. Well, once the term is over, sweetheart, I'm going to continue working. And I'm going to continue being committed to our county and do my work with not-for-profits and the arts and humanities. How about you?
Retire. Let me put aside a couple of rumors. Number one, I'm not going to follow my good friend John Delaney to the Iowa caucuses. No, I'm not going to do that. I do not plan to get engaged in political activities. And I want to retire. You know, I've been working now for almost 40 years, sometimes 2 and 3 jobs simultaneously. And so I want to take some time off. And I've said to my wife that I want to take at least a year and a half off. And she said, you know, you're going to get bored doing that. Well, my response to that is, let me see what boredom is like. I just want to do that for a period of time. But to spend time with family, to travel, do some research, writing, and just take it easy for a period of time. And that's my plan.
So I would say to that, well, those are good aspirations. But a person who works 24/7, who's so committed to the county and to the state, do you really think you're just going to cool out?
I'm going to see.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see together.
Yeah.